Hey, what's going on, everyone? Well, I got a little bit of a rod repair that we're going to do here. This is a Tor KVD rod that a guy gave to me. He actually lost one of his guides, and just like we have talked in a couple of my other videos about wrapping these micro guides, we've kind of added a little different, wrapping the ends of it and looping around and then wrapping a few more times to keep the guide from getting pulled out. Not really sure what the case was for this, whether it be going in and out of a pickup, rod box, whatever it may have been, maybe snagged and drug it out, whatever. But as you can see, everything's still there. The guide basically just sucked right out. And another good reason for, now don't get me wrong, I mean, you can buy some nice quality rods, but this is also a good reason why to do a custom rod if you're able, just because there's a few extra things you can do to help keep this from happening. Now, I've already got everything set up. I've got the guide here that we're going to use. I've already got it prepped, taped, so I can apply it on the rod. So all we're going to have to do is you're going to take the razor blade, and you just want to be careful. Obviously this has got some wear on it. You can see where it's been rubbing and stuff, but you still want to make sure you don't want to cut into the rod blink itself, because obviously you're going to weaken it and potentially cause a problem down the line as far as breaking. So I've got to keep it centered. I've got a fresh blade here for this, because what you're going to do is you're going to cut through the epoxy, and try not to do that. But you're going to cut through the epoxy, you're going to cut through the thread, and then at that point, all you're going to have to do is basically peel it. And then I got lucky because I've got a little bit of metallic, but I don't necessarily deal much with metallic. But since I bought this kit, it already came with a little bit of thread, and it actually came with a couple of metallics, and I got red metallic, which is the same that they use for this Tor KVD series. So we've got the black and the metallic, and hopefully what we're going to have is a rod that you can barely even tell that we did anything to it, which is what we're looking for. And you don't have to go out and buy a whole new rod just because you lost the guide. Now that we got the finish off, we want to be real careful and just slightly score it. So I know I've been a little scarce on the videos, and I apologize for that. Things have been crazy. Like I say, with work and everything that we had going on here, it's been a little busy. And we actually did a little hunting, as I mentioned earlier. And Tyler finally got, I was curious about that, they actually did an under wrap with the metallic. Tyler got his first buck, and it was accident that it was a buck. We actually thought that it was a doe, because it was a spike, and it was hidden by its ears when we seen it. And he made it out before Tyler could get a good side shot on him. He was out. Looks like I took the coating off of that one, didn't I? He was out probably, we're thinking, because I don't have a rangefinder, but about 150, 160 yards. So it was a pretty good shot for his first deer. And then of course I had to go and drag it through a soybean field. So this has got a copper coating on it, looks like, which is good for us because then it gives it a protective layer. Okay. Now you're just going to kind of scrape behind using basically what I consider the back side of the blade, just to knock down, because you're still going to have, there's some epoxy right there, and you just kind of want to clean it up, give that epoxy something to attach to. I'm not a real big fan of that coating as far as getting some epoxy to attach to it. Oh, so I can't tell if part of that's the coating they did or nope, it's got epoxy on it. We'll try this. See if I can feel it. Alright, so now you know where that's going to be, obviously, because you already got the old one there. And then we're going to take, I already got the tape on it. See, we got, and you want to get it somewhat centered, but just as we do a new one, you're able to move it around underneath your thread fairly easy. Now you'll look down, you'll get this centered about like that. That tip is actually not that good. That's pretty close. So now we can get it started, and once we do the threading, we'll go ahead and before we finish it, we'll straighten it up, and then we can finish. Even wrapping around, looping a couple times, like I said, to keep that from sucking out, we will still be able to maneuver that back and forth just a little bit. Now you don't want to be a quarter of the way around the rod and then try to move it. Obviously that's definitely not going to work. Now there's a little trick that I do. From what I can tell, I used the magnifying glass that I got, and it looks like about 3 wraps of the metallic that they did. And like I said, they did an under wrap. Don't necessarily, because it didn't look like it went all the way. Well, there's, it didn't actually go under. Here's the original. And yeah, it's 3 wraps. And it's just to the edge. So we're going to do a little trick. It's kind of about the easiest way we can do it. And then what I like to do is, we'll do about right in there. I like to do mine underneath because that's going to be the bottom side, so you won't really see where you're tucked. Alright, so we're going to loop going this way, and there's 3 wraps, so we're going to go 4. And right there. And then we're going to tape it off back here. So we got, what's going to end up happening is we may do one more, because I can't really tell. I normally do 2, so this one's going to be, let's see. Yeah, that's still going to do it. And as you can tell, you can kind of see what's going on there. And then we'll tape it. Now you don't want it too far back, but what we're going to do is we're going to tape it back here. And it ain't going to take much. Hopefully my battery won't die. I didn't get a full charge on it. But when we get it, so this is going to be your trim band. Okay, you're going to have your metallic. And then we're going to start, and it's kind of hard to tell. See, they didn't even go all the way up to where it starts to curve up to the eye. They've got a, well, they're all different. This one right here, unless it's about to pull out, that one may end up, I may end up having to do that one too, because it's got a pretty good sized gap. And that's the problem is, you know, they can't do them all the same, and if they see something like this, you know, they're not gonna take the time to fix their problem, obviously. It's hard to get a bunch of them knocked out if that's the case. Alright, so we're gonna go ahead, and if y'all do not know as far as the regular wrapping a guide, then you may want to check out another video. I'm not really going to go in depth on this. It's just basically to show you that you can cut the old one off and start over with and repair it just as you would with a rod tip, and help you save a little money. You don't have to go out and buy another $100 and something rod or $200 rod. Alright. Okay. Now, I just do that. It's a little easier for me to mess with, but here we go. Now we're going to run this a couple times, and then we'll go ahead and start sucking that metallic up, just so we don't have too much going on, because obviously that metallic is its own little animal, and you don't want it to start messing up. Can't tell if okay. And we'll stop right there. I'll go ahead and take that off. Got about 4 or 5 wraps. And you don't want to, doing this method, you don't want to end up, you're going to have 2 pretty close together on your trim band for the metallic. So you don't want to end up having your metallic stop and start the same place you want to do your black, if that makes any sense at all. Because you'll just have way too much of a gap, and you got a easy potential, because when you're wrapping it and you got 3, it just leaves a little void in there, and you'll have potential thread being able to slip on you. You definitely don't want that, because then you'll be in the same boat that you are right now and be repairing some guides. Alright, got this all nice and tangled up. Get this undone. Get this done so we can get you done out of here. I just wanted to make sure I did a little video to show you a little tip on doing your own repairs, and to show you that I didn't run off. Alright, what in the world did you have going on here? All kinds of issues. And my tape's about to come off. Goodness. When it rains, it pours. Alright, got it. Still. And from the looks of it right here, they don't have much. A little over 1/8. So we're about good on, because once we pack that, it'll be where we need it to be. Alright, so the back side is where I want these to come together. So you're going to take them, and those are separate. We got one on each side, right? So we're going to take this one, excuse me, and we're going to take it around to where they both come together, and then simply just start tightening them up. And that's why you don't want to put too many wraps on it, just because it'll make it harder to pull these together without messing up the metallic. And then just kind of pack it. You can use your nail, you can use the tool, whatever you feel comfortable with using. Like that. And now you can go ahead and run that on around, except don't overlap. Alright. Now you can tell, I've got my black. We'll tighten it up as well. And we got the black off, and you got a little bit of a gap between the two. That way you don't have to worry about you getting anything slipping out on you. And we'll go ahead and run this one more time, and then we're going to go ahead and we'll pull it, both of them, and go ahead and cut them. And then you can go to doing your wraps like normal. Save that for your pull. There's the extra there. Now we can go ahead and start wrapping. Like I said, I already prepped this guide. I already went ahead and filed it down. Save us a little time, because y'all know how I am. I get to rambling, and videos take too long as it is, but so I gotta do what I can, speed things up. There we go. All right. And it jumped right there. Go ahead. And I don't like using the end of these. It's always a pain in the butt. You don't have much room. Okay. And we're going to go ahead and put it in our pull tab, and that way I got plenty of overlap on that as well. You ain't having fun unless you're making some noise. Alright, so we're right there towards the head. Like I said, I've showed this in other videos. I'm going to go ahead. Whoop, it's already turning on me. I'll go ahead and I give it a pretty good little tight pull when I go around. And then I'll make another couple of wraps. And that just kind of locks that end. I'm actually going to go, I usually do 2 wraps, but we're going to go 3. Just because I got a little extra room here. And right there we go. And there we go. Now we're just going to pull that. And you're gonna pinch that off. I know it's gonna be in the way. Loosen that off, go ahead and cut it. Run it through your loop that you left. And I also do this because I don't like to have to separate it. Knock it down. Do all that stuff. This is a lot easier. So just try to allow yourself 5 to 6 wraps plus. I've done as much as 10 just so I give myself plenty. As soon as that tucks under, and sometimes this will still show on you a little bit, but you can also, especially with this black, you can also use a lighter and just barely hit it with the heat, and it will draw up, and you won't ever know it, especially when you thin it down. And there you go. We've got our metallic trim, and guides wrapped. And like I said, we'll just go ahead and eyeball it. You can go ahead and flatten that out. There you go. And like I say, eyeball that and get it straightened up, and then go ahead and put your thread finish on there just like you normally would, and you are done. So thanks for watching. Hopefully that'll help you out with a little bit of tips to repair your rods and keep on it going. You could probably even do this in the boat if you had some spare stuff, but who's going to have extra stuff, right? Alright, I will try to keep you going with some videos. It's a little slow right now, so may go a couple weeks before in between each video, but I will do my best. And thank you guys for subscribing and keeping up with me, and thanks for your support, guys. Everyone, have a good one. Have some fun. Go catch some fish.